Hello! So you're ready to build your OpenPipe kit, but before you build it, you're going to have to order some supplies. You will find on the OpenPipe Kit website, under Guide, Step 2 Order, that we've provided a list of things for you to order. The first thing that you're going to need is a Raspberry Pi. This is the computer that is going to sit there patiently and pull data from your sensor and push it somewhere. This is like the body of the OpenPipe kit. It's kind of this scary-looking circuit board, but it is something that is tried and proven. We've used it in a lot of greenhouses and a lot of houses, all sorts of interesting places, and it lasts for a very long time. And it's $35. Particularly, you're going to want to get the Raspberry Pi 2 Model B. Again, that is the Raspberry Pi 2 Model B, as in bees. Pretty good circuit board. Now, of course, it's just a circuit board itself. You shouldn't necessarily just be throwing these around. You might want to put a case on it. So we suggest that you get the Raspberry Pi case. This is from the Raspberry Pi Foundation itself. And it's actually like the nicest case out there that we've seen. I can't tell you. We've seen a lot of interesting cases. The 3D printed ones are really cool. The DIY ones are really cool. You can build one like out of Legos if you want. Even actually the box that Raspberry Pi comes in, if you take out a Swiss Army knife and you cut it open, that can be a box too. But if you want something that looks nicer, if this is something that you're going to be using every day, the Raspberry Pi 2 case from the Raspberry Pi Foundation is our #1 case. The next item that you're going to want to check out is the micro SD card. And it is micro, it's like very small. So our link here provides you a link to the micro SD cards from Micro Center. These guys are, again, tried and proven. We've done many deployments with these, and we found that up against the much more expensive, more well-known brands, Micro Center knows what they're sourcing, and they're sourcing some good stuff. So here we suggest, in particular, you get the Class 10. Class 10 means fast. There is as low as Class 4, and when you get Class 4, things like creating your OpenPipe kit gets really slow. It's worth the extra $2 to get the Class 10. We also suggest the 8 GB. Anything less than that is you might run into some issues where you're installing your OpenPipe kit and it runs out of space. It depends on like what driver and stuff, but 8 GB is plenty of space. So you should be safe. Again, $5, little guy. And that's the brain of the Raspberry Pi, where all the software is going to be stored. All right, so next item, the power supply. Power supply looks about this, what you might expect. It's a power cord, but it's a special power cord where you've got your plug here, and on the other end is a micro USB. And it's a special cord because that's the power input for the Raspberry Pi you can see here. And just plugs in like so. And click. And again, we're linking to Micro Center. The cord they have here is, sometimes you'll see things as a power supply and a USB cord separately. If you have a USB cord and a USB power supply separately, and you can spare that for your OpenPipe, you can use that too. We do suggest, however, that it has at least 2 amps. Now that is going to depend on what you're plugging into your Pi, but 2 amps is more than the Pi could ever use, and so that's going to be more. It's a safe bet. So going with the 2 amp, you can be sure that you're going to have enough power going to your Raspberry Pi to be able to handle whatever you have plugged into it. All right, so next item, the Wi-Fi dongle. This is an optional item. So the reason I say optional is this is the device that talks to your local internet connection. And just like on your computer, how you connect to Wi-Fi, we're able to easily configure our pipes to connect to the Wi-Fi that is close to your pipe. Whatever the network is, whatever the password is, using the OPK configurator is easy to use and will configure to your network. It's optional because on the Raspberry Pi there is an Ethernet port. Ethernet, so like plugging in old school style, like as if you were plugging your old modem into the phone line or something like that. Your router, if it's going to be close to your router or your modem, if you can plug directly into the Ethernet port, that's actually recommended when you can. But the Wi-Fi is a good option for when it's a little too far away. You can go about 50 feet, you can go between a couple of rooms. The less things that you have between your pipe kit and your router, the better. This Wi-Fi dongle in particular, we've tested dozens of them. This one has again, tried and true. This is the one that we found has been the best bang for the buck. Ones that are like 5 times more expensive are not even as good. TP-Link is killing it. So I highly suggest the TP-Link, this Wi-Fi dongle. And it's only $15. And there's the page for it. Again, a lot of this stuff is sourcing from Micro Center. They're a great place to source from because you can get it all as one package. They also have the best memory out there, so it's just a convenient place to get a lot of things. All right, so moving on, another Micro Center product, the USB flash drive. This is like your average thumb drive that you've used for transferring files between computers, and that's exactly what we're going to use it for. This key little piece is what we're going to use to transfer your special configuration for your pipe kit to your pipe kit. So using the online OpenPipeKit configurator, you will get a file that you then put on this USB drive and plug into your Raspberry Pi. When it's plugged into your Raspberry Pi, when the Raspberry Pi boots up, it reads that little file that's on your thumb drive and starts obeying the instructions that you told the OPK website. So moving on. Lastly, you'll want to get a sensor. So at this point, you've got your entire OpenPipeKit. You've got your computer on the inside. You've got your Raspberry Pi case, a case for it. You've got your micro SD card, which is the brain. It's going to have all the software. You've got something to give it power, the power supply. And you've got a USB dongle so that it can communicate to the internet. And lastly, the flash drive so that you can transfer your program from the OpenPipeKit website to your OpenPipeKit so that it can follow those instructions. So all of that combined, you have an OpenPipeKit, but you also need that sensor. You might already have one in mind. Right now, we have these supported. By going to the configurator, you will see all of the sensors that we have listed. So the ones that you're going to see here right now are not necessarily all the ones that we have listed. We are constantly developing new drivers for sensors. And so it's always worth taking a look at, let's see, I want to measure the humidity of my basement. Well, we've got a couple. We've got a humidity for Grove. We've got the sensor tag, which I can see here also has a humidity sensor. So depending on what you're looking to measure, you just check out this page, read through, and you might find the particular kind of measurement that you're looking to take. If you can't find the sensor that you want to measure, there's always Googling around for a sensor that can work for your needs. The nice thing about OpenPipeKit is that anyone can develop a what we call a pole driver for the OpenPipeKit. And whether or not you are versed in programming It's something that can be done usually in a couple lines of code. So if you're not an expert programmer, it's probably up your alley. You can probably get it done with a couple lines of code. And that's usually taking code from other projects. Oftentimes the code is already written for you. So it's worth taking a look. If you don't see the sensor here that you need, it's worth taking a look at our OPK hackpad to find out how to develop your own driver and make the device that you need compatible with OpenPipeKit. So with all of those items in hand, now it's time to order those things, and when you have them, it will be time to move on to step 3, where we will discuss building an OpenPipeKit as soon as you have all the different pieces. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you on the next step.